Hey friends. Okay, let's talk about quantum physics, quantum entanglement, and string theory. So I'm going to explain this like we're kids. So imagine you have a magnifying glass that can zoom in, not just to see ants or even bacteria, but to zoom in so far that you can see the tiny building blocks of the universe. So quantum physics is the set of rules for the tiniest things in the universe, like atoms and electrons. The rules are weird. Unlike things in our normal world, like balls or toys, tiny particles can be in two places at once. This is called superposition. It's like your soccer ball being both inside the net and on the field at the same time until you look at it. Particles act like waves, like tiny particles can act like solid dots and wavy ripples in water at the same time. Scientists guess because they cannot know exactly where a particle is or where it is going. They can only calculate the chances of where it might be. We can refer to quantum entanglement as like a spooky friendship. Imagine you have two magic dice. You keep one and your friend takes the other to the opposite side of the world. Instant connection. When you roll your die and get a 6, your friend's die instantly becomes a 6 too. At the exact same moment. No matter how far apart these two dice are, or particles, they stay entangled. They act like a single thing, not two separate things. Albert Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. We can call this like a secret message. If you change the spin of one of the dice, or one particle, its partner, the other dice, instantly changes its spin to match. Okay, now let's touch on string theory, which we'll refer to as the cosmic symphony. So for a long time, scientists thought that the tiniest things were just little dots, particles. But string theory says that if you zoom in even closer, those dots are actually tiny, wiggling, vibrating loops of energy, like rubber bands. And the strings wiggle in different ways. One way of wiggling makes an electron, a different way of wiggling makes a light particle or a photon, and we'll call this the music of the universe. Because they are all made of strings, everything in the universe is like a song being played on a guitar. Everything is music. For these strings to vibrate correctly, string theory says there might be more than just our 3D world, up and down, left, right, forward, and backward. There might be 10 or 11 hidden dimensions curled up so tiny that we can't see them, and we'll call those extra dimensions. Now we'll tie all three of these together. So think of this as a cosmic puzzle, and think of the three ideas as a way to understand how the entire universe is built. Quantum physics is the rule book for the teeny tiny, showing us that the world is chaotic and unpredictable. Quantum entanglement shows us that everything in this tiny world is fundamentally connected and shares information instantly, acting as one. And string theory is a theory of everything. It takes the crazy particles from quantum physics and says, look closer, they are actually tiny vibrating strings. And to simplify this even further, the universe is made of tiny entangled vibrating strings. Quantum physics tells us they are crazy, entanglement tells us they are linked, and string theory tells us what they are made of. And let's use like an example. I know I've heard this before, like twins, one of them breaks their arm and the other one's arm hurts, and they're far apart and have no idea that the other one was hurt, right? Their intuition tells them that they are, because they are entangled, they're connected. Mothers are attached to their children, right? If you grow close to someone, we're all connected through low level frequency waves. So what happens to one truly has a ripple effect and happens to all of us. There's even a theory that quantum entanglement could even explain soulmates, right? Have you ever met somebody, and soulmates don't have to just be romantic, that you instantly had a connection with, you felt like you knew them forever, like you lived past lives together or something, or you meet a romantic partner and you instantly feel this connection like you've known each other forever. There's a high probability that through frequency you have been entangled through space and time through your entire lives. And let's go back to mothers and children's being entangled. So when you have a child, the child's DNA lives in the mother's body forever, which is when during pregnancy fetal cells cross the placenta and enter the mother's bloodstream, migrating to tissues and organs, including the brain, heart, liver, and skin, where they can live for decades. And when my daughter was an infant, my older daughter, I was actually bartending, and I had this terrible feeling that something was wrong with my daughter, and I left work. Like I just rushed out, and when I got home, she had a super high fever and was like purple in her bed. And I believe if I didn't actually go home at that time, that she would have probably passed away due to a high fever. We are entangled. I've actually experienced this firsthand many times, but that's just like the one that came to mind the most. And so next I'll get into like the number 137 and electromagnetism and some other things that correlate with this too. But we're all connected. There's a divine plan. Nothing is coincidence, and everything goes together. So high five your friend, and I put the sources in the description.